G'day. Recently I bought myself a saw haul off Amazon. It had to come from the States and it didn't arrive. So after a bit of a claim through the postal services and Amazon, I've been able to get my money back. Now for those that don't know what a saw haul is, it's an adapter that goes onto your front end loader here, and this basically slides in, your saw slides in like so. Now it's a great idea because I've got a lot of clearing to do here, and with different implements on, I don't always have somewhere to carry the chainsaw. So I thought I'd have a crack at making one myself, and that'll be made out of a heap of scrap ply I've got lying around the place. Let's see how we go. I think this stuff's 16mm ply, so it should be plenty heavy enough. The question is have I got enough to manipulate, oh here we go, what I want to make? I reckon we might be onto a bit of a winner here. It's a bit thinner, that stuff. What I'm going to have to do is also, to allow for the knuckles and things that are in the front end loader, I'm going to have to build that out or pack it out somehow. Now I'll give you the heads up. I'm very primitive and very new at all this sort of caper. So you all watching may well see that I could do things notably better than what I am. That's fine. I'll blunder my way through and see how we go. So what I want, 240 mils. And supposedly that's it there. And I want 2 of those at least. One for the front and one for the back. Right, now I've got knuckles here, so I need to trim this up a little bit, this one, but on the back I'm pretty free to do as I choose, and I can do something along that line. So this front one, I've now got to shimmy down to 60 mils. So we'll set this all up here. Apparently you're supposed to measure once, measure twice, cut once. So doing it my way, I'm guaranteed to stuff something up. Plus this is trial and error. I'm really not hung up on the success or failure of this. It ain't gonna make or break me, I'll give you the heads up. Because in theory what I need is for it to extend below and above. Use a packer, and I reckon 16mm the magic. Geez, that's gonna be right too. 16mm. The question is how long do I want this to be? And this is my saw. There's still MS 180. This is the one that I just want to throw around the bush. It's only got a 16-inch, 18-inch bar, and it's just nice and lightweight. That there, that there, that there. They might not quite be thick enough. I might have to put another little bit of spacer there. And that there, although I could drop that down. So it doesn't have to be all the way. So that's sort of what I'm looking at. I am so rough that what I'm just doing, I only need approximations, so again. And I'll use the bandsaws, because these are all square cut angles, so I'm going to just use the bandsaw for squaring that up on. Righto, back again. Some of these smaller scraps, what do I do with those? Probably nothing. Little basket up here, a box, goes in there for kindling, getting that fire started when I need to. Righto, a bit more kindling too, so I just break them up into short lengths. You don't need massive amounts of kindling, you're putting the fire lighter only under one small section, so why do you need massive long pieces of kindling? I would probably get a fire going with my bigger pieces of wood and about that many bits of smaller stuff. I cheat, I use a fire lighter. One thing you'll learn about me is that I'm motivated by laziness. It's got to be simple. Everything that I do here is simple. I'm not getting any younger, and so therefore I'm working out that I've got to make sure that anything that I do, I can do it in such a way that it is going to be relatively easy to do. Now that's pretty snug in there, so I'm going to have to, or I just chuck that in and that's where it'll go. But it probably dances too much if I'm doing that, so I'm inclined to have that. Now, I talk about being lazy, but sometimes you've just got to do things, and it might be a case that I've just got to get some clamps. Oh no. Oh, perfect. Not sure why that's not on there. That might be a case of put it together and let's just see what we've got. Starting to get a little dark in here. Right. I won't be able to get that out now. There you go. That is snug, but it is taking the chainsaw, so I'll just do a little bit more. Now, these screws that I'm using are 50mm, so they're actually coming through. Bit of simple mathematics, if that's 16, 16, 32 and 16, 48mm, so they're just coming through, but I'll just grind those down, so won't be an issue. And so for now, I'll do another drill. Pretty spot on. Of these in. Now I'm not putting the front plate on just yet because I'll be able to do that when I know what height I want, so how far down the shank, the shaft, or whatever your sheath you want to call it, timber sheath it is I suppose. Right you go. Try and have them roughly lined up. Have it looking a little bit pretty. Right, now that's just crudely done, sticking out a little bit because I decided that I did just want a little bit more room internally. And if I now do this, shove that sheath in, swisho, and the saw goes in. Thanks for coming. There it is. So that's my sheath. Hold the saw. Right, little clean up time. Now I can get a little cheeky here. I can slightly round this. I was going to pull out the router, but I'll just slightly round it again. Primitive, rough as guts, and again, who cares? Could have taken that off and done it all in one hit rather than turning it. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. So I've just taken it from rough edge here. Hope you can see all that. Let's see if I can get the angle, but anyway, from a rough edge through to a nice rounded edge. And down comes the hail. That'll do me just fine. Square edge top. Probably run the router around that just to open that up a bit more. Here that's not running smoothly because it's basically not smooth. There you go. So it's a wet, miserable night outside. It's sort of in spring here now, but you wouldn't think it. So I mentioned about those offcuts. That's them. They're going to get my fire going. So let's see how we go. See whether I can stay true to form. Don't need a lot of wood. I cheat and use a fire lighter. Good old redheads. Gotta love me redhead. I know a couple. That's another story for another time. I'll throw that rubbish in there, soup packet, and stack up these. And there's our leftovers, offcuts, whatever you want to call them. Now what I've done, I'm about 2 years ahead with my wood supply, aiming to store a bit more, so that way then I can crank it up whenever I need and not feel bad. I ain't getting any younger, so I want this to be as easy as possible for me to have fire. So I just load up the firebox, and this is all that will go in tonight. Probably got more than I need. And that'll probably still burn through till the morning. And it's only 5:30 here now. So get that all cranking up. Put my little wood sling away. Keep that going. A little bit of a clean up. But I'll get this cranking and I'll cook on this tonight. Not sure what it'll be. Piece of meat and my normal veggies. And there you go. How's that looking? So that wood's so dry that'll pretty well burn. Doesn't need much to get it cranking. Well, there's the fire going, and as mentioned, cooking a bit of tucker here. So pretty basic, just some veggies, sweet potato, beans, broccoli, cauliflower, all very good. Nice piece of marinated lamb backstrap. So nearly ready. I'll be eating that in about another 10 minutes. Well, good morning and welcome to tomorrow. As you recall, we're going to mount this unit somewhere here, spacer, this here, and I've got 3 grease nipples that I need to keep clear. Good, got that on my fingers. And so I'll work out that final height. Now the intent was to utilise this not only as a spacer but a mounting point, clamping it either with the U-bolt or have another piece behind that I could clamp with just a normal bolt. However, my concern is that this will just snap. So my thought process instead, still using that as a spacer but cut to size, and I've got this old piece of angle that I found. Now I can use that, but I don't want to use it that side because sharp edge is protruding. So what I'm going to do, shimmy this down to 16 mils from the angle, and I can actually cut a slight dent. So it partially goes into the top piece here. The other thing, I've actually got these bolts, so by using the angle bracket here and at the back, I've got just enough length to get that through, so that's what I'm going to aim for. Now just working out heights, I can use this partially as a spacer as well. And what I've just got to work out is roughly where I'm going to put this angle. I think I'll muck that up. That's better. So there's 2 cuts here. One will be to take this part off and narrow this down to the 16 mils. I'm actually going 15 mils. Then the other is to cut it to length. So I'll just position this so it's overhanging sufficiently that I'm not cutting into that. And a second clamp. Now to hold this better, my logic says don't cut it off to length, but cut this section out first. So that way then we're right. Paranoid. Again, who cares? It's only a fitting on a bush block. Now the next part, got to finish that off. But the next part in the equation, of course, we want one exactly the same shape. Okay. I haven't quite done that enough, but I'm a bit paranoid that I am going to end up cutting it too deep, so rather than too deep, I'd rather have a couple of cracks at it. Right, so this is the intent. Got to clean that out a bit, and I've got to go deeper. But my paranoia has set in. 1, 2, 3. Only gone through 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. There's 5 ply. So I can go a tad deeper. You know, sometimes we pee-fart around dancing around something in our way, It's just as easy to go and clean it up. Bit of grease here. Job done. I now don't have to worry about getting it on the rule, on me, or on anything else. Clean up. Stop being lazy. The joy with some jobs is there's no right and wrong in this. It doesn't matter if I get this right or wrong. And you know what my wrong is there. I need to adjust the height of this up. Doofus. Same hole, then tighten it up. There we go. Perfection. Something that we all aspire towards, but never achieve. There we go. And straighten those up. The straighter the line, the shorter the run. Why is that not going in? But anyway, there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, pigs and frogs, we have a mock-up. So I'm pretty happy with that overall. How's that, eh? That might help things even further. Now, I can tilt this if I want to have it slightly at an angle, but I'm just thinking vertical's the way to go. And now let's look, as I wander off to get it, at the saw. So, and swisho, there it is. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. I can mount that flush. Well, that's all going to work. I put the bucket of my tractor to good use and use that for a little spray booth, particularly when it's wet outside or raining. There's an element of containment. Oop, sorry about that. There's even fluff on that. Again, this is for a tractor. It's not for a flaming palace. Rightio, so assembly time. So doing a little bit of a cheat here. I can put one side on. I'm going to try it with a washer and then see whether I can get the next side on. Still a bit tacky, but I'm used to tacky. I grew up in the 80s. Now talking tacky. Bridesmaid dresses, taffeta. Oh my gosh. Tacky. That's another story. I loved wedding cake so much I kept going back. Anyway, I'm on a diet now obviously. So, I'm not just sure whether I'm going to be able to quite get this. Oh, And there, folks, is my chainsaw mount on my little Yamaha subcompact tractor, 24 horsepower, sold in the States as the Cub Cadet. So you might recognise the black and the yellow colouring as the Cub Cadet. Slide that in there. That's not going anywhere. And then in goes the... Oh, hello. Ah, that's fine. And there's my chainsaw. So there, ladies and gentlemen, is a chainsaw mount. So without the saw in there, I've still got access to each of the three grease nipples. So I've got to say, I'm pretty dang happy. So this is Peter Fox, over and out. Oh, I've been corrected, it's only out.